Hello YouTube. Today I'd like to do a quick review on the Fire HD6 by Amazon. I've had this device for about a week now, and I just want to share my thoughts on it. When you first go to buy it, it starts out at $99 in US price, and if you expand the storage up to 16 gigabytes from 8 gigabytes, it is $119. And then there's also an option to remove special offers, and special offers are basically the ads that will show up on the lock screen. So if you want to remove special offers along with the 16 gigabyte version, that brings it all the way up to $134. So that's how much I paid for this. So when you first get it, it will come in this box, and you'll get a basic Android cable, and then a standard charger for it. The charging cable it comes with is about 3 feet long. So when I first got this device and took it out of the box, my first impression was that it was bulky, and to me that's just how it seemed. But after a while, I really got used to it, and it really grown on me. And I'm not the only one to say this. I've heard someone say the exact same thing on XDA. On the back there is a rear-facing 2 megapixel camera that I am not too impressed with. The quality is not very good, but it does its job. And then on the front there is a front-facing camera, good for Skype calls and things like that. At the very top of the device there is a audio jack, a microphone, a micro USB input, and a power switch. On the side there are the volume rocker buttons, and then on the very back you'll see that there's one speaker as opposed to two on the Fire HD7, and I was a little bit worried about this at first, but once I played some music I realized that it was actually pretty good quality. It is a Dolphy Audio mono speaker. The dimensions are 6.7 inches by 4.1 inches. And then the thickness is 0.4 inches, and that is the same as the Kindle Fire HD. The Kindle Fire 1 and 2 original were 0.45 inches in thickness as opposed to 0.4 on this, so it's barely any difference. But I do have the original Kindle Fire that I can compare the size to, just to show you a little comparison. You can obviously, this is a 6-inch screen, this is a 7-inch screen, and you can see that the thickness is pretty much about the same. So I'm going to boot it up, and while it's booting up, I'm going to go through some of the specs. So it's obviously a 6-inch screen, resolution of 1280 by 800, which is 252 ppi. It has a quad-core processor that can go up to 1.5 gigahertz, and it says it has 8 hours of mixed use. The Dolphy Audio mono speaker and built-in microphone, single band Wi-Fi, no 4G, front-facing VGA camera, 2 megapixel rear-facing, 8 or 16 gigabytes, and the dimensions, like I said, 6.7 by 4.1 by 0.4, a weight of 10.1 ounces. So now it's booted up. I've already used this device for about a week, so I do have quite a bit of apps and things on here already. And first impression, when it first boots up, the lock screen looks a lot better than the original, the other Kindle Fire operating systems. And then when you also first buy the device, it will come already signed in to your Amazon account, so that's pretty nice. So when I unlock it, here's the basic user interface, and the only thing I've really noticed with lagging is that there really isn't much. Sometimes when I had the key lock on here, it would sort of skip frames, moving the lock screen on and off, and that's about the only time I really saw it skip frames. I've had a few issues with it where it gets stuck, the screen gets stuck off, and I had to force shut it down by holding the power button for 15 seconds. But that's only happened once, and it's not a big deal, and it's something that will probably be fixed in future updates. So when you first look on the home screen, you have your recent apps up here, and you can also remove them. If you hold down, you have all these options and more to delete from device and things like that. And then if you say add to home, it brings it down here, and you can create folders and things like that down here. The one thing I found out is that launchers, if you try to install a launcher on here and you try to set it as default, for some reason it does not allow me to set the launcher as default. Whenever I say to set it as default and I click the home button, it just keeps coming up with that pop-up telling you to select the launcher you want. So I just have some basic apps up here. Most of these apps actually aren't from the Amazon store because the Amazon store is not that big of a collection. It is getting bigger, and it's really probably never going to be as big as the Play Store. But I have sideloaded most of these apps, and I've done that just by a simple app on a different device where it allows you to back up APKs or back up your apps and share them. So I was allowed to, so it let me upload them to Google Drive, where I then downloaded it onto this device. And in order to do that, you just have to go into settings, and you go into the applications menu, and there is apps from unknown sources, which you can turn on, and then you can install whatever app you want as an APK. And this also allows Android debugging to work via the computer. I really am impressed with the UI so far. The reason why some of these on the home screen look like sort of bad quality are because most of them are sideloaded as the icons. Since the Amazon App Store does not have a YouTube app, there is an app called SuperTube that I sideloaded onto here that seemed to be the best YouTube app for the Kindle. So if you want to get that, it's not on the Play Store anymore. There's an app called Viral, which I got on a different Android device, but I tried sideloading it onto here, but it would crash when you try to play a video, so I got SuperTube, which I had to find online because it wasn't on the Play Store anymore, because they've upgraded SuperTube to Viral. There is a search bar up here. You can search all of your apps and things like that, and then down here there is the notifications area, which I like, and you can't change any of these up here, so they're already set and you can't move them around or anything like that. At the top there's the status bar where the only thing I believe you can customize on the status bar is removing the percent sign besides the battery. And I can show you a basic look at how a book will look on here. So if you have it on the cloud, whenever you click on it, it will download it and you can open it. So here's how the reader looks. It's a pretty nice UI. So that's that. There's not much customization, but it has just basic settings. The one thing that is neat about it is you can have household profiles, so you can add different accounts to this device. Bluetooth is supported on this device, and it is reported that OTG also works, so that you can connect things up like storage devices and such like that. So that is a plus for the Fire HD6. When you swipe your finger away from the navigation bar, your recent apps will appear. So that's a nice little feature to have. The default keyboard is pretty slick, and it supports voice input and swipe. And it works pretty well most of the time. I will also show you just a simple swipe. The device is running Android 4.4.2, Android KitKat, so it's good to know that it's up to date. Overall, I like the experience. The camera, like I said, isn't very good. I can show you. See, you probably can't tell that much, but I can show you like some pictures that I've taken that just don't look very good. So this is what it will look like if you taking pictures on this device. It's not that good quality, but it does what it needs to do. It was pretty easy to adapt from a 7-inch tablet to a 6-inch tablet. I really like the size. It fits nicely in your hand, and it does fit well in your pocket. And the only problems I really have with it is that there is sort of a lack of customization, and the camera, as well as obviously the Amazon App Store, doesn't have many apps, but that's okay for me. And then right now it is currently unrootable, so that I am sort of not liking. Because if it was rootable, I would be able to put Google Apps on here, which would allow things like the standard YouTube app to work, and things like Google Plus to work on here. One thing that would be nice is to have a password to buy things on Amazon, because right now you can just go ahead and buy things and it doesn't ask for a password or anything since it's logged into the device. There are some parental controls you can put on it that would do that type of thing, but it's not like a thing you can do just inside of that app. For the price, I would say that this is a pretty good deal. That's about all for my Fire HD6 review. I hope you liked it. Be sure to subscribe and like this video. It would help me out a ton. And thanks for watching.